Hello everyone, Kurt Olford here, and welcome back to another episode from Hope Federal Labs. Today we continue on with Fifth Master Dagger, and we are going to be looking at how we utilize an old Guardia that we talked about before when it comes down to Dagger, the tutta, porta, ferro doubled, and how we might utilize that against somebody who has grabbed onto us in the Fifth Master place. Now, with this right here, there's a part in there where he talks about underhanding, using the strikes to go underhand, which allows you to go into the low bind. We don't necessarily know what underhand means, but we're going to explore some of the options that I think we might be looking at right here. So again, this is kind of exploration about how we can utilize this piece right here to a different form and function, and also maybe explore again how Third Master continues on with all the Maestro pieces that are out there to be able to control somebody that's coming at us with the Dagger. So with that being the case here, let's get into it. So this week we're here going to be looking at, once again, another means of being able to contend with someone who's grabbing onto us and dealing with that Dagger within the Fifth Master Dagger place. So this one here's got a two-part to it, and it's going to involve with us, once again, that tutta, porta, ferro doubled, right? So which basically Fiore talks about how we're right over left, and we kind of create this position right here. Now we've seen this before within First Master cover where the guy comes out with a dagger shot. I can come right here, I can place right here, maybe it's a cross, whatever the case may be, we don't know. But ultimately, it's meant for a strong person. Interestingly enough, Fiore states that this is good for within armor, and it allows us to contend with somebody who is a strong man. So that tells me here, once again, we're talking about bracing and having to do something here that allows us to kind of create different opportunities here. So the image that we're dealing with is this one right here. And once again, we assume the position of Fifth Master. He's got himself right here. And again, all things come from the initial concept of the strike. So I've come right here, maybe I'm pushing it over this way, I'm crossing this type of thing. He's popped up with the Dagger. And now the image shows something along the lines of like this right here, where I see my arms up and I have this thing braced against this way. What I think is happening here is, again, if we go off the premise that this arm right here is the spot we're contending with first. Always Fifth Master. So Fifth Master shows the Dagger that's down in the very beginning, right? Not saying that that's always the case here, but if the guy's Dagger hand is up and I'm doing this right here, well, I'm just going to get stabbed right off the bat here. So again, I think it's part of the situational awareness that we're dealing right here. Again, that avvisamento piece where we're going here. So I've come up right here, I've slammed the arm across, his arm comes up. As the arm comes up into this position here, what I think he's telling us to do is to shoot straight in to that brace position. And from this area right here, if he starts pressing in on me, and this is very close, for an idea of context right here, he's not even doing anything. This is as far away that Dagger is. And it may not look like much, but it does not take much for him to come right into my eye. So I'm holding this right here, keep my head in place, trying to keep this right here. This Dagger is very close, right? If I'm like this right here, I have a little bit more space, but I'm also into the inside of his strength, which allows me to go against it. So again, we're making that strong cover. And from here, we're going to achieve the middle bind. And like we said with First Master Dagger, we might have a covering mechanism where we make that position to work into something else, right? Essentially, I see that as a kind of a continuation to this concept. So as Mr. Connor grabs onto me right here, Ben strike right here comes up, I'm going to shoot up. I come right here into this braced concept right here, and as he comes into this right here, I create the space necessary, I'm going to turn you slightly right here, to have his arm like this. So because I'm covered like this allows the opportunity for me to get into that middle bind, that ligadura, and cover into this space. This works because off of this. Now here's the deal. If the premise of this is accurate, and I think that, you know, if I come here and I start pushing him over with this, where he's bent into this, that Dagger shot's coming, which means I have space to work, which allows me to get access into this spot. If the arm is straight, I just come up right here and does nothing, which is unrealistic, and that Dagger spot comes in, when I step in, this is a lot closer. So again, part of what I think will happen with Fifth Master is when I come right here, I'm making him go like this, the Dagger comes up, and now I have the space to come in here to break this down and go into that kind of space to get him into the middle bind. Okay. So that's the first variant that we see with this right here. Now, keep in mind, again, ultimately, we are just trying to make sure that we get access to this. All the plays, as I see them in any play of Fiore's manuscript with Armazari, how you work into these positions is dependent upon how you see the person across you. So if this is a bigger person, I may have to do something that's bigger in conjunction even to make that shape, okay? So now let's talk about the second portion, which he says I can get him into the lower lock if I do this underhanded. Now, this is where I think that this once again, it deals with what we do with this arm first. So as he grabs in on me here, if the person, this is why I say, if the person doesn't do anything and we come here and he brings up the dagger, right? By the time he steps in to grab this way and I bring my arms up into an underhand thing, he's already plunged this into me. Not to mention also he's got his arm right here. And if I come over top of this, I can still create this space right here to grab it. But again, if his arm is very strong and he comes over top of the dagger shot, I'm on my back foot into this. So again, I think it talks about dealing with attacking this arm and making his shape pliable so that I can find a way to make this tutta, porta, ferro, but again, into a lower lock consideration. What that looks like to me is this. He comes right here, I grab this, boom, he gets shot over this, he brings up the dagger. As he does, my hands are right here, I'm coming up, and I'm right down into that lower lock position, right? I'll take it a little bit slow, but again, because the reality is it's coming, so you have to make this come up this way. So when they say underhanded, right, I think what they're talking about with this hand here, I'm basically going to bring these hands across here, then coming over. So I'm utilizing underhanded, a backhanded kind of action. So, shot comes, grabs in, boom, he breaks across. I pop across this way. So instead of being here, which gives me access to the arm, I'm here on the inside. So I'm underhand his shot. From this position, I can rotate around elbow to elbow here, and as I turn, my hands can go here. Once again, wrist, elbow, turn, and now I'm into the position we see within the third master dagger. Drop it, stand. And I've got him into control. So it's not just go in there and do whatever the heck you want. It's about attack their structure against you, okay? Again, trying to do this at real speed is very dangerous and it's very scary. So, to reiterate on this right here, first person grabs in with this, I've got to be able to deal with this. Fifth master comes, I come right here, whatever the case may be. He comes up again with this. I shoot, I have the shape, and from that shape, since it's covered right here, I can come down, grab, and pull him into that middle lock, the middle key, making that ligadura, or bang, I pop across this way right here. I'm successful with this. As this dagger hand is shooting up, maybe he's just starting to bring it up. I shoot it across this way here to the hands. Again, this is still very close. They're always very close at this point. I'm going to utilize this coming up with my hand, coming up over top into this, where I get myself into that third master. Drop it, and I can get him into the lower lock. Both require application to the hand that is grabbing. Both require something to deal with this. It makes perfect sense why he would say, dude, this is better in armor, and it goes for strong people. Because at the end of the day here, this is somebody here, if he's doing, the dagger is very close. But also at the same time too, because of how my armor is and how all the bells and whistles that might be on the arm, it also gives me the ability to grab on and latch onto his arm in different forms and fashions. And that's our interpretation right here about how this works once again. Effective strikes, off the fifth master, response, and then depending on how you catch it, is it this way or is it this way? So one's coming down over top and one's coming up under. And from there, you choose either the middle or the lower lock.
So you can see with the video here how, once again, we are off of that play that we see within the first portion of Fifth Master Dagger. How you strike this and how much of effective that is against the person really shields you against the potential of their strike area right here to get around with this. A lot of fifth master to me, again, as I see it, as I've said before, is it's not just this position, it is the rotation that we get to shift the line so that we can bisect over and around the arm. Now, the week prior here, we talked about how if I come here and I grab it and I strike, and then if the person comes with a knife, I put my hand up here and then goes to the leg. That is also, I think that these two plays are very similar. And the only reason why I didn't put them together is because one is going to the ground and one is going off of the portion right here where I'm moving into a strong grip position here. But they both have a context to me that we have made this strike and this person is raising up in some form or fashion that I have to abandon this action right here and go immediately into response of somebody's strike against me. The thing that I really like about this, and again, like I said, we don't necessarily know what underhanded means. This is our interpretation. This is how I see it when it comes down to like underhanded. When I think the underhand, we're thinking up and under. I think reverso, right? So we're talking about coming up and under across, right? So this kind of like this backhanding action right here. Depending on how this strike is, it makes a lot of sense to me because you're pushing the person closer to you and you're allowing yourself access to get to a spot that can control and manipulate that arm. Both binding actions are very effective actually at this point here. Again, this right here is kind of representing an uke. So that doesn't mean somebody who's like, what are they actually going to do if this happens here? What happens? It's not just boom, do the thing. You can boom, hit the face and move around here. It's a nasty scrap, and unfortunately, right there, we don't have the safety equipment to be able to do all the nasty things of this. But the main message of this right here, regardless of all the effective strikes and everything that come with it, the main message, in my opinion, is that we're looking at, once again, creating the shape so the arm is like this. This is one that's grabbing us, right? So that this shot, if I'm like this, it's harder for me to stick you in this. And if I turn, it anatomically hurts me. This gives me the ability to get close and get the arms into that tutta, porta, ferro doubled in a way that allows me to maintain against your strength. There's a person that's in our group right now. We call him the chest high wall. He's incredibly strong. And, a lot of times I find myself having to brace. And he's a person that I absolutely validate that this right here is not only effective, but it's responsive. So because I have this right here, if I catch the person like this right here, well, I can keep on turning and rotating away here, which you can already tell gives me access into a lower lock. Or if it's here, that gives me access to let go. And now I can go into first master plays where I can manipulate and come across into different areas. So anyway, it's a simple technique, but it's not easy because the thing is here, it all depends upon how you make this crossing and then how you catch it. And just like we saw the week prior, if I go right here and I have to come up, well, then I have to go down. And again, we start to see how if I come up and down, whether I'm here or here, our hands are bisecting. So I've covered here, my hand's low, and I'm shearing across, I'm coming here, I'm coming over, or pushing across. It's the same rotational movement. It's just which axis and which plane are we doing this on right here. Okay, so anyway, that's going to do it for the video here. Very, very much interested in what people have to think about this right here, about what have you seen with this whole price, with this play before. Maybe I'm seeing something right here that, maybe I'm missing something here. Maybe you're seeing something that I'm not. Translations are important here, and language is important here. Most of this manuscript, again, like I say, is poetic. So, I don't really approach this as an academic. I approach this as someone here who's trying to convey a message to me that's important to get somebody to do something in this moment of very incredibly dangerous stress. So that's what I have here. So please leave a comment. Let me know what you think about there, and love to hear what you have to say. To my dear viewers, thank you so much for tuning in, whether you're new or not. This channel is not possible without viewers like you, trying to grow this even further right here. So please, leave a like, subscribe, share with a friend out there, pass this along here. I'm curious, hoping to get more people into this kind of work here and for the greater historical martial arts community. So again, not possible without viewers like you, and thank you for tuning in. Until next time, everybody, as always, be safe out there, train well, and fight on. I'll see you all soon.